Hello everyone. Today I'm going to start giving some introduction on the Streamlit framework. This is more like a practical approach, how we can use the Streamlit app for a beginner. What I will do is first I'm going to explain you where you can locate the documentation and other details. If somebody is new to the Streamlit, just type Streamlit. Just type Google and then you get a link. It is called streamlit.io. Then you click on docs. You will see pretty much, it is very easy. Anybody want to do POC and then, as a data scientist or, as a data analyst, they can use this one. They don't need to depend on anybody, right? This is a documentation. If somebody want to take a look or anything like that, this is a easy way, docs.streamlit.io. And then you can just going through getting started. And then pretty much I'm following the same documentation, and then I'm going to explain this one. I have a small presentation, right, which gives the high level picture, what it is and other things. Okay, then what we'll do is we will go through some of the concepts here in this documentation. Then I'm going to give a live presentation, that live demo, how we can utilize the tool to create a Streamlit app within few minutes. Okay, let me share my PPT. Okay, this is as in very high level is I'm going to give what is a Streamlit and then what are the components which are available, what is the layouts and theming, and then caching, another beautiful feature, and then how to install, and then demo. That's the thing, right? Now what is a Streamlit? Streamlit is an open source Python library that enable us to easily build a web application, right? What that means is the Streamlit is developed using a Python. Anybody who knows the Python, they can easily develop the web application, right? That is the beauty of this. They don't need to know any web technologies or anything like that, right? Normally the people use some Flask or Angular, React, or anything that like those are the very popular web application frameworks, right? In order to do that, you need to have some understanding of web technology. Even though Flask can use for multi-purpose, but if you want to do web technology, you need to know what is the HTML, what are the style sheets and some other components, right? Like you need to know a little bit JavaScript and other things. When you're using a Streamlit, you don't need to know anything. It is just like a Python library. If you want to add a little bit style sheets or something like that, you can use it. If somebody knows little bit web technology, they can able to utilize it. Okay, it has everything is available. You want to connect to the backend, backend in the sense you want to connect some database or you want to connect some REST services. You can do everything in the Streamlit. It is just like a Python, right? If from Python, whatever you can do with the Streamlit. That's the main idea behind that. Streamlit is very popular in the community of data scientists or machine learning domain, right? Especially people doesn't need to worry about like how to showcase their work, right? Assuming that if somebody develops something, right? If you want to do PowerPoint presentation, it is a pretty much static. They don't have to, they can't express what they are doing currently, like visualization, right? Those things, if you want to do, they need to do live presentation, right? Live means sometimes it is not going to be user friendly, right? You want to type something, some text fields or some information, right? If you want to do the form inputs and then give the output, right? Pretty much, you can do with the Streamlit. That's the beauty of this, right? That's the main idea behind that Streamlit. Streamlit has been in the market for a while. It has been like, I can say 3 to 4 years or something. It has been a brand new framework. I can say it is not like a very old technology like a Flask or anything like that. It is almost modern framework. And then when I'm going through the demo, you will get idea that, how Streamlit is going to execute and other things. But this is a very high level picture why you want to learn the Streamlit, right? This is the main goal of that, right? Next is what Streamlit supports, right? Streamlit framework, what it supports. All the Python libraries, whatever is there. You can able to do visualization, right? You want to do matplotlib or plotly, Seaborn or anything like that, all the visualization, all the machine learning, whatever you are doing with, Jupyter Notebook or anything like that, you can utilize those libraries inside the Streamlit. Then NumPy, Pandas, computer vision, OpenCV, everything, you can do. Some of the things I might not mention here, whatever the Python library, you can just include it and start utilizing. These are the whatever I'm mentioning here, it is all from the documentation I mentioned here. But some of the things might not be available by default, right? You might have to pip install and then, you have to do the stuff, right? These most of the libraries which are built in with the Streamlit, you install pip install. The next is you want to install the Streamlit. What you have to do is pip install Streamlit, boom, it is available. You want to run the Streamlit app, you can do Streamlit run and then Python file, boom, it runs. Even sometimes you don't need to mention main.py also. But if you, when you are doing a real application, right, if you have more than one Python file, you have to specify the Python, otherwise it doesn't understand which Python file it has to run, right? That's the main idea behind that, right? Next is in order to develop the Streamlit app, right, you need to need some components and then, some layouts and other things. But prior to that, how Streamlit, when you install the app and then you put something, right, it looks like this, Streamlit, very simple web page. Here you're not even writing single line of HTML technology. It is all Python, and then it is just a sample page I grabbed from the website, go Streamlit documentation, but it looks like that. Okay. Now let's explore some of the components which are available in the Streamlit, right? Every web page will show the title, right? If you want to show the title, it is very simple, right? Always you have to import Streamlit package, right? We are giving alias name, and then you just say that st.title, it will show the title for your web page. That's it. That's simple as that, right? Now you want to show heading, right? There is two levels of headings are there. One is top level, one is sub header, right? These two, just you mention that dot header, it will show like that. Sub header, it will show like that. It is very simple. Now you want to display the data frame, right? Most of the machine learning, you read the data and then you store in the data frame, right? You just say that, you st.data frame, and then you give a data frame what you got the name, right? And then you want to show as a table, you just show it, right? Now you can ask me that, what is the difference between data frame and then table? I mean, data frame, it provides you more like a dynamic view. Like I just give a screenshot is just for one column, but you can do like some of the graphs and other things also you can show. You can do using the data frame. Whereas the table is more a static content. You can't change, I mean, it's like you can't show dynamic way. It is just like a whatever you give the data, it will show it. That's the only difference. Okay. Next is in the web page, right? You are going to have a side navigation. It's called a sidebar, and then you are going to have a main content where you will show the content. Those are built in. You just say that Streamlit, whatever the alias name we give, st.sidebar, it get a sidebar. You want to have a form, you just say the form, column, and everything is very simple. st dot, you type in the editor and then it will show the option for you. But if you take st dot select, these are the, it looks like this, st dot radio button. Select box and radio buttons are pretty much similar as far as the coding concerned, but only difference is select box is more like, pictorially you can have multi-select also available, but it is more option of choosing the things, for a user perspective. When you are showing in the web page, right? Radio button occupies more space, right? If you have a 20 options, choosing the radio button doesn't make sense. Select box makes sense, right? Sometimes you need to choose the progress bar or a range, right? You want to see how much you want to take, like for example, in our project we have weather, right? You want to choose the weather 55 degrees or 100 degrees, right? You can give the range that, what is the temperature between this, something like that. You can build the form. This is the rightmost is a simple form. You give it and then you have a submit. Automatically all the information what you selected, it is going to, for example, if any value is not selected, if you give a mandatory, immediately it will give the message that it doesn't allow you to submit the form. Those are built in if you use a form. That is advantage of using the form. If you don't use a form, you need to take care of yourself that this value is missing or anything like that. Okay. Next is how means like a Streamlit code looks like, right? This is the way it looks like. This is a form, simple form, and then you have like this is the slider, and then this is the you want to select some quantity, you want to select the city, not select, you want to somebody types the city, and then you have a submit button. They're very simple. You write like a Python, anything means I don't see any HTML code or anything. Who knows the Python, they can do the stuff very easily, right? Now you can draw the simple charts, line chart, area chart, bar chart, most of the charts which are available. If you don't want to use developing a chart, bar chart or something like that, what you can do is you can use a Plotly or Matplotlib or Seaborn. Everything you can use those libraries, and then you can just put it there, right? Then you don't need to learn this, right? Bar chart or a line chart or anything like that. What kind of data it has to give. The advantage of this, right? These charts, internally it uses a series, right? Or an array. Based on that, it builds pretty much, right? Because the data frame is a combination of the series, right? This is the main advantage of that. This is the theming by default. It comes with the plain vanilla, and then you want to change the dark theme, you can do that one too. Okay. Now the another beautiful thing in the Streamlit is it has a caching mechanism, right? Whenever you are loading the page in the Streamlit, it loads from top to bottom, right? What that means is, for example, you load the data frame. Again, you load the, you are doing something else, right? You don't have to call the data frame again, right? For example, you are reading from the CSV file, read CSV, and then you store in the data frame. That entire data frame, you can cache it, right? Wherever are the other places you are doing in the page, you just refer the data frame, it gives information from the cache, right? That's a very beautiful thing with Streamlit, right? These things is not possible in any web technology or anything like that, storing the data frame, or even you can store API call or anything like that, primitive types or anything like that. If you use sd.cache_data, it stores the data. You want to store like a pickle file or anything like that, you can use the cache_resource, right? Depends on the what kind of resource you want to store it. It is like you want to store like a database connections and other things, you use the cache resource. Those are the two caching mechanisms are available in the Streamlit. any one of the things which makes sense for your application, you can use it. This is very beautiful things. For example, you are developing a not a developing, like for example, you don't want to put a pickle file, right? You want to do everything on the Python. What you can do is you can cache your model on the fly, and then that model data will be available. Entire model is available, and then you can utilize it. That's a beautiful thing about this. Okay. Now what I will do is I will go to the documentation, and then I will go through what it is, and then what I'm going to show the demo. Okay. This is the Streamlit documentation, right? Anybody do, and then click on installation. There is multiple options are available. The option we are going to pick here is we are going to use the IDE. Streamlit, you can use a VS Code or PyCharm. I'm going to use a PyCharm. What we do is we create just a simple Python project. Once you create a Python project, we go terminal, and then we are going to install Streamlit. Then Streamlit is available for you. You don't have to do anything, right? Once Streamlit runs, it will launch. Basically, Streamlit run, it is going to launch on the web page. That's as simple as that. Okay. Now today, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create app, right? I'm going to utilize the demo app which is available in the website. I'm not going to reinvent any wheel. Anybody who reads for 5 minutes, they can understand, right? What I'm going to do here is, right, first step, you create a Python file. Then we import the stuff, right? Whatever the packages you want. You give a title. Then you run it. You can see that, how it looks like. Then you want to fetch some data, right? This is the one. What I recommend is grab this data from this website, S3 bucket, and then, put it locally and then run it. Okay. Then these are pretty much, Python syntax. You just do the stuff and then load it. Once the data is available, and then you fetch the information. Okay. What I will do is I will go at the end. We have a consolidated Python file which has all the details. Okay. This is the imports. Then this is the title. Here we are doing a caching the data. We are reading from CSV file. Then it is all formality that, you want to change lowercase, uppercase, and all the things, right? Once data is available, what we are doing is we are loading. It is basically it is telling that, is data is loading. By default, it is available. Once the data is loaded, you can show like this, it is done loading, and then you have a checkbox, and then these are very simple things you can able to do. Okay. Once app is running, I'll show you how it looks like, right? I don't want to make any more confusion here. I will, at the end, you have a cheat sheet, right? If you go through this one, this is what you need to know. That's it. You can able to learn, you can able to develop everything, right? At the high level, you want to install what need to be done, right? One line command. Install and run, right? Streamlit run first step. Pip install, it is available, and then you just do it, and then import, and then you can able to see the text, markup, all these things. You want to do media file, image file, right? Video file. You want to do sidebar with the radio button, and then you want to have a multi columns, right? You want to have a 2 column, 3 column, like here this one is there. Then you have a tabs. You have like some control flow, like a with condition. With is act like a condition until it executes, until it is almost like a if condition, right? If that is there, if it is all all Boolean variable, whatever is available. In this case, it is a form. All are available, right? Input username and password is available. Then only it executes. Like otherwise, it gives the error. You click submit, boom, it doesn't work. Okay, all these things are available. You can go through the stuff. It is very simple. You want to take a printout or anything like that, you can do, because I'm using a Chrome browser. Chrome browser has a little difficulty with the Streamlit. If you use another browser like a Safari or some other browser, it works well for Streamlit app. That's what I observed. Basically, if you open another browser, it doesn't have this side overflow. Basically, in web technology, we call overflow. CSS overflow is happening actually at the horizontal way. Okay. Now, what I will do is I'll go to the PyCharm and then I will just, if somebody wants to do, right, just I will start from the beginning. You click a new project and then you give a name Python project. You just create a Python project. You can give any name, right? Once you create a Python project and then it will be available, whatever the hard disk, right? Then what you have to do is, in my case, I created a packages, right? These packages are available. Now, what we are going to do here is, this is the Python file we created, right? Just a Python file, nothing else. Just I cut and copy. The only difference is I downloaded the zip file here, and then the file is located here, and then just I'm running this one, right? I'm just, if somebody wants to start, right, you create a Python project, you just do pip install Streamlit. That's it. That one command does all the magic for you. But when you are doing a real project, it is a different story altogether. Okay. What we do is we can give like this Streamlit, and then if you want to have some sklearn or anything like that, we can give. I have a readme.file which has the instructions that how, if you want to do somebody, right, it is there in the GitHub also. You can just open the project and then you just do requirement.txt, then you run it and then done, right? If you want to do Docker way, you can do this approach. There is, if you want to deploy in the AWS, you can approach this approach. Okay. For today, we are not going there. We are going the first approach. We have now the Python file is located here. I'm just going to run like this: Streamlit run app home dot. This is a different project, but don't worry about that. Here we are going to focus on this beautiful thing, pickups. You want to show raw data, right? Checkbox. You want to show there is a expandable view also. Expandable view also available. You want to do minimum, right? There is a return is there. Automatically what it does is, whenever you change something in the Streamlit, automatically it will reflect here. You want to change the settings, you go to settings. You want to change the theming, you want to go to dark theme, it automatically changes. You can make it lighter, whatever you want, right? We can make it settings by default. I want dark theme, you can make it too. This is very high level picture, right? I'm going to stop here, and then if anybody has any questions, we can continue.
One question.
Uh-huh.
Hello.
Yeah, go
After
ahead.
this, can we